All right, let's talk about your university degree. You've probably heard all these confusing acronyms flying around, COLOKI. But what if I told you they're all part of a secret blueprint, a master plan that's been designed for your entire education? You know the feeling, right? You're staring at your course list and you're just wondering, how on earth does this class connect to that one? It can feel like a totally random maze, but believe me, it's anything but. See, there is a master plan, and it's based on this really smart idea called backward design. Instead of just throwing a bunch of first-year subjects at you and seeing what happens, universities actually start with the end goal, you in your career. And they work all the way backwards to your very first lecture. The official name for this whole approach is outcomes-based education, or OBE for short. And the entire system is built around one core question: what should a student actually be able to do when they graduate? Seriously, everything, and I mean everything, flows from that single idea. Think of it like an architect building a skyscraper. First, they envision the finished building that's you a few years into your career, successful and capable. Then they draft the detailed blueprints. Those are the skills you need right at graduation. Each floor they design is a specific course. And only then, after all that planning, do they start laying the foundation with those first-year subjects. It's all connected from the top down. So, what's the glue that holds this whole thing together? It's a principle called constructive alignment. It's a fancy way of saying that what you learn, how your professor teaches it, and how you're tested on it all have to match up perfectly. In a system like this, nothing is there by accident. Every project, every exam has a purpose. Okay, so let's dive into the jargon. You might hear people say CO or PO, but the official framework is this three-level chain. PO, PLO, and KLO. Just think of it as a chain of command linking your future career all the way down to a single assignment you have due next week. Let's break it down. At the very, very top, you've got POS. That stands for Program Educational Objectives. This is the big picture, the long-term vision. It's not about what you know the day you graduate. It's about what kind of professional you're going to be 3, 4, even 5 years from now. Are you going to be a leader, an innovator, a critical thinker? That's the PEO coming down one level. We get to the PLOS program learning outcomes. You might also hear these called POS. This is all about what you can do the exact moment you toss that graduation cap in the air. We're talking about your broad skills like communication, problem solving, and all the technical stuff you need to hit the ground running. And finally, we get down to the most fundamental level, the CLOs, or 4 course learning outcomes, sometimes just called COs. These are the building blocks. By the end of one single course, you should be able to do something specific and measurable, like analyze a data set, or design a basic circuit, or write a killer persuasive essay. Each CLO is one small concrete step towards those bigger PLOs. So you can see how it all fits together, right? It cascades down from the POs, your 5-year career goals, down to the PLOs, what you can do at graduation, and all the way down to the class you master every single semester. Every course you take is a carefully chosen piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. Okay, this all sounds pretty good in theory, right? But how does the university actually know that it's working? How do they prove that you're really hitting these learning outcomes? Well, that's where assessment comes in. And it's gotten a major upgrade too. The old school way was all about memorization, right? You'd get a final exam on a bunch of textbook chapters. But outcomes-based assessment, totally different. The focus shifts from what did the teacher cover to what can the student do. It's less about remembering facts and way more about applying a concept in a real project to prove you get it. And that brings us to the last little acronym in our puzzle, KEY, which stands for Key Indicators. The easiest way to think about KIs is that they're basically the specific line items on your grading rubric. They're the measurable criteria that prove you've nailed a CLO. So when your professor is grading your work, they're not just giving you a score, they're literally checking off the skills you've successfully demonstrated. So here's the kicker. Your grade isn't just a letter or a number anymore. It's data. It is hard evidence that feeds back into the system, proving that you've met the learning outcomes that were designed for you from the very beginning. So who's making sure all the universities are actually doing this, right? I mean, this can't just be an honor system. And it's not. There's actually a whole national system in place that acts as a quality guarantee for your degree. In a country like Malaysia, for example, it's a three-layer system. You've got the MQA, which is like the National Quality Watchdog. They have a rule book, the MQF, that spells out what a graduate at any level should be able to do. And then they have this strict set of standards called COPPA, which they use to audit and accredit every single degree program in the country. It's a serious system of checks and balances. And yeah, this isn't a one and done kind of thing. Universities are constantly being audited. Assessors come in and they check everything to make sure that whole PureFlow CLO chain isn't just something pretty on paper, but that it's actually working in the real world, in the classrooms, labs, and exams. And all of this feeds into one last super important concept: continual quality improvement. Just think of your degree program as a living, breathing thing. The university plans the curriculum, they implement it, and then they monitor all that data from your grades. And here's the cool part: they use that data to improve the program. So in a very real way, your performance helps make the degree better for all the students who come after you. So the next time you look at that list of courses, just remember, it's not a random checklist. It is a carefully engineered blueprint designed to build specific capabilities in you. And it's a blueprint that is quality assured every single step of the way. So the blueprint is there, the plan has been laid out, all designed to give you a very specific set of skills. The only question left is, now that you can see the matrix, how are you going to use it to build your future?